Welcome back, everybody, to Championship Sunday for the Gears Esports Spring Major Fallout here, joined alongside Ribs and Ashes here live on the desk as we just watched a very interesting losers bracket semifinal. The official Kings of LATAM out. And the question is now, is the new King of LATAM, Ash? You asked me this in the kind of pregame here when we were talking. If United wins this, is it dyslexic?
I mean, that's my question out. You know, we've always said Hndles is the King of LATAM, or we've said Choche is the King of LATAM.
Dezenide.
Yeah, Dezenide, arguably, could be a King of LATAM, one of the three kings. But if Dis wins with eUnited, I mean, I think there's an argument there.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. Look, at the end of the day, Dyslexic arguably could be the best player in LATAM, especially if he's able to rise to heights. I think he's got to win the championship, though, to even be in contest of that title. And at the end of the day, Mexico LATAM, if you're watching, Dyslexic is the last amigo to try and represent an entire nation, an entire region. We'll see if he can do it. And let's go ahead and start to preview these rosters and kind of talk right through it here. We got eUnited versus Kansas City Pioneers. Speaking of Dyslexic and the eUnited roster, for those that are just joining, you guys, I'll introduce the roster for you. If you've been here for a while, you know them, you love them. It's Powerz, arguably the best player in Gears, but of course the Kansas City Pioneers would like to have a word. TJForce, who's been really stepping up this weekend. Demise, former member and breakout player on the Hive roster back in Gears 4, and the breakout player of Gears 5, undoubtedly the potential new king, Dyslexic, reigning from Mexico and representing, once that region lock got lifted, a chance to play with one of the best teams and best four core in the game. And meanwhile, on the flip side, we got the Kansas City Pioneers. Let's break down this roster. It's Bronny filling the big shoes of Precision, who retired, went over to Halo, and has been finding some decent success there. Xysho, Acells, and Hndles, the trio, the core three in Gears 5 that has been so dominant. Acells, you got to call him the best player in the game, given his pedigree, right? A lot of people say Powerz pound for pound skill. Acells, though, of course, is the one person who would like to have a word there. And of course, Xysho, Hndles could be in that argument as well. That's the roster. That's what we're going to see here with the Kansas City Pioneers and with eUnited. And let's jump right into the discussion here, gentlemen. Let's talk about our key player matchups. Ribs, talk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, this is winners finals. This is where it's so important. And I love that we're looking at these two players. I say Dyslexic. He has the entirety of his region on his shoulders. A lot of pressure for a young player like himself, but I think he could step up to the plate. I said it yesterday. One of the most dynamic players that we have in Gears Esports. He still amazes me every time we spectate him. And then Bronny, a lot of players and people said that he wasn't going to be able to fill the shoes of Precision. He got his first championship. He had his interview last event where he screamed out, "I'm a champion." You could just see it was just pure, just adrenaline, and it was just all passion coming out of this kid. And I think he's improved since then, which is just a scary thought. Now, what version of these two players will we see in this matchup? Throughout this weekend, they both played amazing, right? These are our only two teams that are undefeated so far. This is our winners finals. And Ashes, we talk about how important it is in that format to get to grand finals, because it's you just play that one series, but you come in with it's a best of 9, and you have a map up on the losers finals team. So I feel like that's so important to win this match.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, can we put that graphic back up really quick? Because there's something I noticed that I'd love to point out. If you look at these stats, it's really interesting seeing that Dyslexic does about 1,500 damage per life, but he only has 27% kill participation, whereas if you look at Bronny, 1,300 and some change damage per life, but 29% kill participation. So when you look at that, it doesn't really make sense. This is doing more damage, but getting less kill participation than Bronny's. To me, if you kind of dig into this a little bit further, I'm seeing KCP has a better teamwork. They're getting more kills without having to put as much damage in per player. That means they're looking for each other, they're shooting for each other. That synergy, that ability to have each other's backs, which is so crucial in fast-paced game modes like Control, like Escalation. That's really key, and KCP is clearly doing a great job where Dyslexic might need a little bit more help.
Yep, that's a great point. That's why we brought you here on here, Ash, kind of break down the stats and the details there. And it says a lot about these two teams. United, some great individual stars, individual players. KCP, they're great individually, but they're also great as a team. And that's what's made the difference. And that's what it takes to be that dynasty, right? So very interesting stuff across the board here as we look at the head-to-head stats. And I want to start talking about this matchup, though, kind of head-to-head matchup as teams. And let's do that with the map picks and bans. Interested to see what this looks like here. Walk us through it.
Yeah, of course. eUnited's going to ban reactor control. KCP will get rid of Spire control, Ephira, and then Tomb Execution will be banned by eUnited. Harbor Escalation banned by KCP, so we'll see what Escalation map we get. Pretty standard bans here for the most part. What we've seen throughout the weekend, one team banning their opponent's stronger maps, kind of leaving the maps that have been played throughout the weekend so much. Maps like Vasgar, Checkout, Clocktower. We've seen them so many times. And as we go to the picks, Ashes, you could go ahead and take us through it.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with eUnited's pick, Ritual Control. Interesting pick here. And, honestly, I would love to break this down by stats, but I think once you get to this level of gameplay, these teams are so evenly matched up. They know what they're going against. The stats, out the window. Ignore those. Ritual Control, I think that could be anybody's game. I think it's close quarters, which could go towards a team like eUnited, and I could see why they picked that. It gives them more slaying chances. Then we go on to KC's pick, Clocktower Execution, a very teamwork heavy map. We've seen it time and time again. The crosses have to be on point. Everybody looking at one person, and little divergences in strategy are going to be crucial here. I think KCP is going to be ready. I like this pick for them. We go to Vasgar Escalation, everybody's favorite escalation map. eUnited's picking that one. KCP traditionally a really good team on Vasgar, but eUnited, they can hold their own, and I think we have a very even matchup there. And Vasgar traditionally one of those coin toss maps. Anybody could win that one. So I think that map more going to depend on who's got the momentum going into it. Then, if we need them, we've got District Control from map number 4, KCP's pick. Again, a very teamwork-oriented map. And like I was saying, what I could tell from those head-to-head matchups, teamwork on this map goes in KCP's favor. I think that map can go in KCP's favor. And then we go to the final execution. I don't think we're going to get there, though.
Interesting. I think I know which way you're leaning. We'll do predictions here in a bit. But let's first talk through our keys to victory. These are Fran's keys to victory, starting with eUnited.
Yeah, so for eUnited's keys to victory, don't hesitate. eUnited's going to have to know, hey, look, we're great individual players. These are the reigning champions, but we can't give them that respect. We got to throw the first punch. We got to play our game. We can't worry about what they're doing. We just got to make the moves and make them react. And then additionally, Dis will need to shine. We were talking about in that head-to-head matchup with him versus Bronny. Dis, he needs help, but he also needs to have that confidence. Look, I'm the new face on the team, but I'm here for a reason, and today I'm going to prove that reason. I'm going to be the hope that LATAM needs. I'm going to be the hope that eUnited needs to bring home that championship and shut down the horses, the kings in KCP.
Can Dyslexic do it? That's the big question. Can he step up and rise to the occasion? Something tells me the answer is yes. On the flip side, Fran's keys to victory for the Pioneers. Ribs?
Of course, yeah. Kansas City Pioneers need to trust your process. I mean, we're talking about a potential 5-peat here, their 5th tournament in a row, 5th major in a row that they would be winning. Winning is your habit. Just continue to do what you've done. You've brought Bronny in. He filled in the shoes of precision perfectly. No need to change it up now. Just continue to win, continue to be confident, and limit their playmaking. And they say Powerz, don't let Powerz get hot. But really, any of these players, it could be Demise. We saw TJ go off, and then, of course, we're giving a lot of hype to Dyslexic right now. I still feel like he can go off at any given moment, and I think that's something the Pioneers do so well. They know how to take away the strongest asset of their opponents, and that kind of just keeps their opponents looking so flat. We see them get 3-0s, 3-0s, 3-0s. That's kind of how they do it.
Yeah, well said. I'm just, look, at the end of the day, I'm just glad we didn't see like giddy up or hold your horses or some more, ridiculously corny dad jokes coming from Fran here. He limited those a little bit for the winners bracket finals, but all great keys to victory. I got to agree with the trust their process in particular aspect. I mean, this team knows what it takes to win. And with that said, I kind of alluded to it earlier. We kind of know where Ash is leaning, but Ash, starting with you, let's jump into predictions here. Who do you guys think is going to take it? Ash, kick us off.
I was torn on this one when we were talking about it because my brain is saying one thing, but my heart is saying another thing. And I'm going to have to go with my heart on this one. I know TJ in and out. I know Vic in and out, Powerz, if you will. I have faith in these guys that when it matters on Sunday, regardless of history and past matchups that we've seen similar to this one, I know what they are capable of. And I think it's TJ's time. I think that eUnited takes this one.
Damn, I thought you were going KCP with it. He's going eUnited.
Curveballs,
like
baby.
Call. Now I'm interested to get Ribs' take because I think Ribs knows which way I'm leaning. Look, at the end of the day, this KCP squad 3-0 Dominant yesterday in their semifinal, dominant for the last few majors. You've got to be ridiculous not to call these guys to win. They show up on Sundays. They show up tournament time. It's about damn time we put the true respect on their name. I'm going to Kansas City Pioneers winning this one. I think it'll be close-ish. I think it'll be a 3-1 in favor of KCP. I see them taking Vasgar, that kind of critical map number 3. I see KCP winning this. But hey, eUnited, they played really, really well yesterday. TJ stepped up. All 4 of them are looking good. I think if any team can beat KCP this weekend, it's either eUnited now or Rise if they can continue the momentum and steamrolling like we saw from Losers Bracket. Ribs?
And I guess I'm the tiebreaker. And after watching that last segment, I'm not going to go against Fallout. I don't feel like getting slandered on the desk. But no, I mean, I picked KCP early last event. I said it early this event. I mean, they are the safe pick. They're going for what seems to be the best dynasty of all time, trying to rival Optics Dynasty.
Let's not get carried away.
One last question for you, though, John. I know it's a little too early to say that, right, Ash? But if we get to a map 5, right, and we get to a Canals, which we haven't really saw much throughout this weekend, who do you got, Powerz or Xysho with the sniper head-to-head? I'm asking both of you guys, but John, you could answer first.
That's a great one. I got Powerz in that matchup, personally.
Okay.
Xysho's nasty.
So if we get there, we're going to have to bring this segment back, and then you're going to have to change your pick.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, it's true. I got Powerz as sniper. I mean, you really think whoever the better sniper is wins that map every time?
Not so, but it's always what we kind of build up to, because that's what we're looking at when we watch Canals. And what about you, Ashes? Do you go with Powerz also?
Well, I think that there's flashy snipers and then there's consistent snipers, and I think Xysho, he's fantastic sniper. I remember being afraid of whenever he got sniper against us. Right, he's always been that guy with sniper. But Vic is just he can go for the headshot, but he will always hit the shot. So I think in a map like Canals, the headshots, fantastic, great, you eliminated a guy, but the body shots helping your team, that's going to be crucial. And I think Vic, I gotta have faith in Powerz, man.
Yep. You and I both go on Powerz. Ribs, you disagree?
I just hope we get there. That's all I'm going to ask. I want a map 5.
The Barack Obama politician had to come out at some point where he just stays neutral. I just want a great game.
Sniper. I think he goes for reaction shots, headshots, all that stuff. But he knows how to just slow it down and just do what his team needs to win. If eUnited gets there, that's by far their best bet at winning this series. So yeah, I think I go Powerz also.
United's got to force a game 5. That's what they need to do to potentially win this one. Can they do it against the Titans in the Kansas City Pioneers? And you mentioned potentially rivaling that Optic Dynasty. Boy, oh boy, I would love to see an all-time greats like NBA 2K-esque matchup or Madden-esque matchup between the Kansas City Pioneers with precision and the best Optic gaming roster. And it'd be fun to witness. Maybe one day in the future of Gears, who knows? But
I said about Rise, man, there's levels to it. All right, let's not get too carried. KCP is great in the modern era, but
it's one level up.
You know what? I've got more trophies on the floor here than they have in their whole trophy case. All right,
let's not get too carried away.
All right,
where's the trophy?
Yeah.
You have
what? Don't make him bust it out again for the 16th time his broadcast.
He took the bait, John. I didn't think he took.
You took the bait.
You want me to start pulling them out? Because I can pull them out, man. I got plenty of them. I'll give one to everyone on the desk.
Yeah, there you go. We all get a trophy.
We're just gonna sit with this. Actually, yeah, we're just gonna sit with this.
And I just heard from my producer, Fran's just shaking his head in disappointment is what Fran's doing. Fran, you let this happen. Fran, you let this happen, bro. Why did you let him win so? Ribs, you too. You're upon envy.
Thanks, Fran.
Fran's thinking, like, why does Ash just have all the trophies? Like, why doesn't Billy and Gilbert have the trophies?
Because Billy took the E-League trophy, man. He wanted the tall, pretty one. So, I'll take the volume. That's okay.
The volume.
Why are they on the floor there? Why are they not?
We're done. We're done. We got to throw it. Listen, one day maybe we'll get to see it. I would argue, and I could argue, Ash, maybe on a podcast or something, this KCP roster is better in a lot of ways than that roster. But I digress. I'm going to throw it over to our cashers because I'm not going to let you respond to that. Over to y'all. Crush the gameplay, guys. It's going to be one hell of a winner's bracket final. Take it away, guys.
I appreciate you, Fallout, letting us cast. That's awesome. Hey, look, it's going to be a great time here for the winners finals, Toby. I'm excited. Winner moves forward to grand finals. Losers obviously has to go down, battle against a hot Rise. We saw what they just did against Pittsburgh Knights. But let's get it going, baby. Toby, how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm pumped after that last game. I was pumped at the start of the day, and I honestly didn't see that coming out from Rise. I think it shocked us both. It shook us a little bit, perhaps, to even consider that that's the team that's waiting in the losers bracket from whoever loses this one, right?
Right.
And it's a scary sight. Ash has talked about earlier, are you in the present moment? Are you thinking about the future? I think, both teams would probably prefer to not go against Rise today. That's for sure. For obvious reasons, of course. I'm sure KCP are looking to not drop on back so far this event, it seems like. But hey, we'll see how eUnited do against them in this one in particular.
Let's see how they do. eUnited, they've been a great team throughout all of Split 3. And I got to say, Toby, they're a scary force to be reckoned with. But so is KCP. This is major time. It's no longer the Pro League. It's no longer E-Days. This is where KCP wakes up. Ribs made a comment yesterday or on Friday where he stated, KCP's not dropping a single map this entire major. And well, they still haven't. And that is a testament to how well they continue to play. So let's get it going, man. Map number 1 between these two great teams. This is where you set the pace.
Absolutely. And to really hone in on that point, it's map number 1. We saw what eUnited did to Rise last night on this particular map, and Rise have been very good on this map, but eUnited coming back to full strength. The game plan ultimately for me, Taylor, the key point is for eUnited to go on the offensive, go on the attack. You have to be in that kind of mindset against KCP. You can't play their game. You have to throw them off in order to beat them. I think that's actually eUnited is the roster that could potentially do that when you have Powerz going off like he did yesterday.
Oh, Powerz, when he goes off, I mean, the world takes note, okay? He is that devastating. Well, let's get it popping off, baby. It looks as if we're going to have a bit of a stagnated fight, but trust me, it's going to pop off really soon. Acells going to take down 1 kill, but that's only Powerz. You still got 3 more members from eUnited just up ahead. But EU will close the gap, get a little bit closer. Dyslexic will fall. Acells has a chance to take down TJ. Good shots. Can't follow it up with the finish. And we're still at a bit of a standstill. Nobody getting torque bow. Nobody getting definitive points off of Hill 1. This is what we can expect through and through, but finally some headway has been made. KCP will win the first team fight.
Yeah, very hard fought, wasn't that, Taylor? That was actually one of the longest fights I've seen this whole event for Initial in terms of Ritual. Well played from both teams, honestly, but KCP held out with a great angle from Bronny operating through the middle line of the map. Hndles with the torque bow, of course, very influential yesterday and in the match that we saw against of eUnited versus Rise on this map. Let's see if Hndles can make a really big difference here, actually, with that weapon. eUnited slowing things down. They know that is probably done. Dyslexic, though, sneaking around with the flank. Lovely little angle from behind. That's 2 downs instantly. Not only 1, but Hndles with a stick, just as he did go down, will reduce the numbers just a little bit. Dyslexic actually forcing to 1v with Xysho. But the important factor is, of course, Taylor, is the numbers going to the next hill. And it looks like eUnited have the advantage there.
They definitely do. eUnited, like you said, advantage in hand. They're set up. They know where KCP are having their numbers or where they're going to be pushing forward. It looks like just a 4-man full frontal push. That's exactly what it's going to be. But the nades, they could be devastating, and they are placed well. Ooh. That's going to be 2, and the third's going to be picked up with the Nasher. Powerz getting a 3-piece.
That is huge. You need Powerz to go off. I mentioned it at the start. You have to be on the offensive against KCP, and this is the perfect map for eUnited to do exactly that. To start off how they finished against Rise yesterday, they have to try and win this map. They have to try as hard as they possibly can, but also they're going to need everyone going off at the best of their performance that we've ever seen. Powerz needs to continue playing like that.
Definitely so, and Powerz has a chance to replicate the success we just saw a little bit earlier by picking up 2. Bronny, though, he is no slouch whatsoever. He's going to take Powerz, but he's not going to get TJ. Fran's key to victory during one series yesterday was, hey, use the Force if you're eUnited. And, well, I think eUnited has definitely been using the Force. TJ's been on fire, and that's why eUnited is currently here. They've got a little bit of a lead. They got to continue to push forward, keep that pressure up. The battle for torque is underway.
It is almost deja vu from the Initial of the start of this round. Lovely kill from Powerz to open things up. Demise will take him out, though, unfortunately. They've got a slight pinch, but it's a little bit too late. He's tried it, hasn't he? Tried to go for the backpack. It's not going to come through. But nades were picked up, and eUnited started their rotation to get the short spawn at the very least. We saw Rise do that very well on Regency in the map, in the match just before, but they don't have the numbers, and they do not have the hill. They definitely are not in the best position right now.
Not the best position indeed, but that's okay. They still have a little bit of a minor point lead, so if they take a bit of a tumble, they're going to be just fine. Hndles will lose the 1v against Powerz. Powerz, again, continually making big moves and standing his ground, and he has a beautiful flank, doesn't he, Toby, onto Xysho. Xysho has no choice but to push forward. He knows that his time is running short, and eUnited, although they don't get the early presence on the hill, Toby, they retake it very quickly.
Yeah, they do. KCP moving fast to try and set up for a push. I mean, let's talk fundamentals right now. Let's talk about Powerz. He's ice-breaking every single team fight, it seems like, on these last 2 hills, and that's making the huge difference. Powerz has that potential to take down KCP players consistently. He has to keep it up, though.
Has to keep it up like you said. TJ, just like Powerz earlier, throwing out a nade, not going to connect onto anybody, but Bronny will fall and Dyslexic will get picked back up. Hndles tries his hand at it. Brilliant. He's not going to find much success. I mean, Toby, eUnited are really taking this map number 1 by storm. Even though the lead is only 50, just a little over 50, I mean, you can really tell they're on fire.
They are. Lovely stun from Powerz, taking the second there to swap round and then stun them. Everyone is working together for eUnited right now. They are deathballing around the map, meeting up as a team. Lovely discipline from Powerz there. Excellent shot hold against the fast player in Bronny. Xysho finding one in the middle, though. And it's still a little bit chaotic, but I think eUnited likes it that way, honestly, on this map. They tend to be the best team at operating that way. Meanwhile, KCP just about getting their numbers back for the next fight. Powerz just finds Hndles. This is what I'm talking about. Ice breaking, right? When it's a 4v4 situation for the next hill, or on the next hill, he gets the first kill. 4v3. You need to keep on doing this. And it's making a huge, huge difference in terms of the points right now.
KCP, though, they do have a bit of an off angle with player number 3. That's going to be Hndles, who might be able to, I don't know, pincer or lancer. So KCP can get in the hill. Bronny has been using the torque bow, but let's face it, he's not getting maximum value with it. So I need to see him making some good connections. Xysho also dead. I mean, Powerz just continually doing well. The man is 11-4. He's got 9,700 damage done, just shy of 10K. Matter of fact, make it 10K with that kill. This guy, we talk about it, Powerz pops off. It is so difficult to beat eUnited, and Powerz is popping off. And you know, coincidentally enough, Toby, this is the map where he makes most of the impact when he does go big. And I mean, you can see that impact. eUnited's not slowing down. KCP off to such a rocky start.
And this is the whole team as well for eUnited operating so well right now as a team. And they are really doing it so well, it must be said. Everyone is on the same page. Everyone is there to allow Powerz to push up like they do. Demise just pushed up on right hand. That's another time that I've seen Bronny lose a 1v here. A very important one of that as we look towards that number situation for the next hill. Powerz, he's the first one to rotate. He's ready to go. KCP are constantly on the react, but they can't really get anything going now. It just seems like eUnited just win team fight after team fight. Powerz momentarily pausing. I love it. Keeping his health back as we enter the next team fight.
Let's see how he pushes up, right? Let's see what he does. Well, I mean, speaking of Powerz, Dyslexic, I mean, my goodness, take the king. Take the crown king. You love to see it. He'll pick up 2. Powerz will die, but I mean, that was still a series of great kills. But the reality is, Toby, it's still a very fresh hill, and KCP have it. This is where they need to accumulate as much as they possibly can because the lead is getting out of control. They've now cut it down to less than 100, but still, with eUnited, if they have one more successful hill, break the 200-point mark, KCP are going to be in trouble for sure. The pressure already an all-time high. Another team fight underway. Dyslexic, the tip of the spear, only for a short time. He'll back away. Demise will get pressured into the corner. He's going to drop, so KCP have a real chance. Dyslexic, once again, trying to flank. He'll pick up 1. He'll pick up 2. He won't get the 3rd, but hey, TJ will. So great job, Dyslexic. Wonderful job, TJ. And a great break from eUnited once again.
A key player to watch, right? We've seen Bronny. He showed up this event. He showed up in the last event, leading to a major victory. But all eyes on Dyslexic to see if he can really perform like Demise yesterday. And of course, Powerz and TJ, who we've been talking about already. Seemed like he is so far. Did just lose that 1v, but an incredible flank earlier on against KCP on this hill. TJ's turn perhaps to go off. A double kill coming in for him. Despite pushing on right hand, despite the players being ready for him, he will take that shotgun victory. And it's all leading up to the score lead that we now see for eUnited. This is going so well for them.
Incredibly well. I mean, honestly, perfect. Really, you want to talk about an explosive start? This is it. eUnited has not been in grand finals since obviously the last major, which hasn't been that long, but more importantly, they didn't make it the grand finals because in winners, they lost to KCP, so they had to work their way through losers. Having that one map advantage heading into grand finals would be massive, and eUnited understands this better than anybody. Xysho opening kill onto Demise with the nade. Xysho will answer back, and so will Acells. That is a definitive team wipe. Once again, KCP in control of a fresh hill, but can they hold it?
Yeah, this is exactly what they need, though. They need to slow it down for the first time ever. It seems like we're saying that for the KCP roster, and they have been able to do that. They've got quite a bit of map presence, as you can see, as they try and locate that torque bow coming up shortly. and keep the players at bay. Meanwhile, no, United are moving fast. They are moving very fast indeed. Dyslexic again, up A and around every corner until he gets into a shotgun fight. Hndles is right in front. He will get angled out, but Powerz is there, waiting, steady, confident in his teammates around. Bronny tries to flank, but it's all so desperate from KCP now, it seems like, as eUnited are ripping through them in every single shotgun fight.
Ripping through. I mean, just absolutely dominating, kind of akin to what Rise did to Pittsburgh Knights earlier. I hate to open up a fresh wound, but that's just how it is. I mean, eUnited is playing that well. Powerz, a big component for that at 14-6. Dyslexic also, I mean, he understands this is his time. He is representing Latin America, and my goodness, isn't he doing it in style?
This is the mechanical skill you need to be able to dominate in Gears Esports. You thought KCP might have it. You might have think that actually eUnited have huge potential, and you wouldn't be mistaken for thinking that. Now we're seeing the potential come out. That movement from Demise to keep his life, but also do the damage. That's exactly what you need. 250 is about to be reached with a huge score lead now over the Pioneers.
I can't help but get excited when I see eUnited playing this well. I mean, really, because you got to think they've got to be nervous. At least I would be nervous. My goodness, thinking about losing to this very team in the same exact place just a major before, but it seems as if they're just fine. Great shot from TJ. That dwindles the number from KCP, but they still have enough to work with. Powerz, he's going to also be right there. Great snub shots. TJ needs to pounce on this opportunity, but he can't do it because the good team revives from KCP were there. But Powerz back on the attack. He's going for a 20 bomb. He'll pick up 2. He'll be 17-6, but can't even get to 20 before eUnited wins this whole thing.
I know, right? He's trying to go on a kill streak, but the game is just moving too fast, and eUnited, the whole engine is going at full steam ahead. It's so cool to see that these players are living up to their true potential right now in front of our eyes. 20 seconds to go, Taylor. I think eUnited may be able to wrap it up on this hill.
Might be able to, Toby.
Might be able. Look at this.
Demise, do it to him, baby. Give me the 3. Give me it. Yes, and Powerz Demise as well as Dyslexic. Let's give the respect where respect is due. We'll get the cleanup. How much time? Plenty of time, right? Surely 7 seconds. Not plenty of time. No, they've got to get 3 more seconds. Very close, like you said, razor's edge. But where are they already at, Toby?
Wow.
They're already on the new hill.
This is insane. Have you ever seen KCP look depressed, folks?
Never.
I cannot remember any time I've ever seen this in action. Only map 1, but Jesus, was it a good one.
Jesus, Dyslexic, I'm getting confused. Which one is it? What a performance from the team of eUnited. That was so good. Powerz, 21-6. Are you kidding me? I am through the roof. Not because I'm inherently a fan of EU. Honestly, I'm probably more of a fan inherently of KCP. I love Bronny. I have to man up, but I mean, to see a performance like that, just like seeing a performance from Rise, I mean, it is so refreshing to see perfect Gears played, and that was perfect Gears.
Yeah, I mean, I was losing it. I was just over the moon. I've spoken about mechanics all weekend for this major in particular.
Well, you've been getting your car fixed, so that's why you are speaking about mechanics.
Yeah, we've been talking about engines and the train leaving the station. I guess so. But honestly, it's just the eUnited roster there. Everyone is playing well. You know, we were mentioning, banging on about Powerz and what he did yesterday. Powerz this, Powerz that. It was Demise yesterday also on checkout that was doing so well. TJ starting off checkout strong. He's there, though. Dyslexic, the flank that he pulled off on 2 of the best players that the game has ever seen, where they read it, it wasn't a surprise, but he still uses movement to bounce down a corridor and find 2. I mean, these are the example situations where eUnited are finally showing their potential. Mechanics so good, really Hall of Fame worthy mechanic style that 100%. They can actually use to take down the Titans of KCP. And I was serious at the start. In order to beat KCP, you have to hit the ground running and you have to have a game plan. It's not about doing well yourself. It's about making sure KCP don't do well themselves. You have to knock them off the game. You have to have a strategy. And Ritual, on paper, was the best map for eUnited to do it against them, stylistically, to run through them like that. But to win in that fashion, Taylor, with those KDs, with that score lead, huge. And it's so impressive to see.
But Toby, this is winners finals, and eUnited wins map 1. Now, granted, in a dominant fashion, but they also are the first team in this entire major to win a map against KCP, and they did it when it matters most, right here in Winners Finals for the spot in Grand Finals. That is huge. You want to talk about rattling your opponents. This is the time you do it, and I think they have effectively done it. Now, KCP, they don't get rattled easily, so I do say rattled, but again, I'm not in their team comms. I'm sure they're going to be just fine heading into map 2. They're a team that doesn't get down on themselves before. There was a great point brought up in chat, though, and I know this is major time, but I have to bring up history. During E-Day's playoffs for Split 3, KCP, eUnited did play against each other, and eUnited 3-0'd the team of KCP. Right? So eUnited can absolutely beat this roster, and they can do so in a dominant fashion. Major time hits different. We know what KCP can bring to the table when it is major time. We have seen that exemplified on Friday and Saturday. But the point is, if eUnited lets all of that go and they play at peak potential, they can beat this roster, and they have beat this roster. And map number 1 shows that they can once again beat them when it matters most.
Absolutely. I'm just watching through these highlights in awe, just the mechanics, just the reading, Bronny. I mean, the amount of times I saw Bronny and other KCP players go for the big slides into up A's shows a little bit of desperation to me. Honestly, they've realized that they're losing a lot of shotgun battles now. They're trying to get desperate in order to beat them. Here's Bronny again going super wide, and Powerz like, no, you cannot do that. I'm going to read you. Acells sliding across because he needs to close the gap to find a gear, but it's just not going to happen. eUnited have it unlocked. Lovely back A. Another double essentially from Demise. He kickstarts things. And look at the eUnited players around KCP. They're all there. They were moving as fast as they could into that gate range, into that chaotic distance that you have to operate in. No one is letting go. You know, they're all on the same page. They all know they just need to hold forward and move their way into that range in order to defeat KCP in every fight. And they did. 300 to 104.
Obi, I gotta bring this up. Look at Dezo, baby. He just suffered a loss, but bueno suerte, King. I know I probably butchered that, but dyslexic we trust, okay? For Latin America, they are putting faith on dyslexic. Dezo has me dying with this tweet, but I even retweeted it, and honestly, Toby, at this point, it really is that real. You know, it's like, it is that real for dyslexic to pop off and become, you know, partial king, you know, sharing it, obviously, with identives, and clearly, even though Dezo suffers that loss, and it was heavy for me too, he still is supporting Latin America at the end of the day. Beautiful, funny, but I mean, beautiful and honestly really real. I just love that he's taking a selfie. That's who they're praying to. It's perfect.
It's great. It's perfect. It really is. And it's just perfect in the general sense of things. When you think of the core rosters of eUnited and Pioneers and who sits outside that, I think you probably would say dyslexic in many ways because he came, of course, from Noble originally. You'd think in Pioneers, you'd think Bronny because he had to remain his precision. Bronny's test was last major. He's proved it, right? He's locked in. He is the true fourth. Dyslexic has kind of remained on the outside. And when we're bigging up eUnited as perhaps some of the best players mechanically of all time, you need that fourth player to really drive home that team, that level of teamwork to enable that. And also his mechanics too. Let's not forget he has the mechanics as well. He's extremely good in those close quarter battles, as we saw in the highlights, as we were going through those points. And he's showing up so far. It is map 1, admittedly. But from what we saw, as mentioned, all 4 players are on the same page and they're moving at full speed ahead. It's really good to see, and it's going to be a difficult map number 2, I think. Probably for both teams, if I'm honest, now coming to Clocktower.
Very difficult. Well, Toby, let's extrapolate on that. Why is it going to be difficult? You know, there was a great question pointed towards Ribs from Fallout to give him some credit. Fallout says, you know, Ribs, is sniper battle, is that what it really boils down to? And Ribs answered, you know, and with his experience, he knows, no, not always, right? The sniper doesn't always have the biggest impact, but, you know, Powerz, I mean, come on. I mean, we just saw how deadly he can be.
Yeah, I think the driving home point here for Clocktower as being one of the more strategic maps, but fast maps. You got to be on your toes for this one. Is the fact that I think the snipers start to dominate strategies. You know, you either are good at that snipe strategy and you get a lot of rounds from it, either being proactive and going for the snipe or baiting. You know, as a team did yesterday, or a few teams did yesterday. Or you're not, and that will ultimately result in a huge score difference and an advantage as a result. on this map, and you'll have to force teams to operate around that and respond, etc., etc. The question for me is, we've got the snipers on both teams, but who's going to be the best at operating actually down that sniper?
We're going to find out, baby. Bronny has been such an impact on this front position, and we're seeing an example of it if he can just make a connection. Xysho, good body, but no one's there to follow. eUnited continues to press up, but eventually they do back up, and we're going to have a bit of a reset. eUnited rotating down low, going for the nades. Demise might go for the torp, but Powerz, he'll catch Hndles.
Look at this speed from eUnited. Two players have thrown themselves down bottom. Meanwhile, they're still pushing up top. Powerz will find that kill. The icebreaker is back at it again. Look at the flank. eUnited are there. They're all over KCP right now.
All over KCP indeed. Xysho will get the drop on Demise, but the finish is going to be there. eUnited has flipped the script. Bronny though. Bronny with the 2Ps. KCP will still win round 1.
Absolutely massive. Bronny, that fourth player we were talking about, he has definitely locked himself in for this team and also this major, evidently. This was insane. No, it's Dyslexic actually naded TJ throughout that. Somehow it was essentially brought down to a 3v1 in waves, but Bronny, look at that for composure, waiting for the
Sunday,
shot
baby.
to come through. He finds it, he bounces just a little bit to dodge the shot, and then boom, Demise falls. That was a lovely bounce. Left and right we go. Anyways, right?
Right.
Not like themselves. It's hard. It's really hard to look at history when you have the likes of KCP here.
Let's get it going. Pioneers still keep that 1-round lead. Of course, they did earn it with the help of Bronny. First down onto Powerz, but it's going to be all right. Xysho getting away with the sniper once again. And Toby, eUnited's breaking down low just like they did before.
And in this process, somehow they still have the presence up top. The down comes in on Xysho. This time, though, Powerz and Co, they're not able to react. Demise, though, they want to keep the pace up. This is a clear game plan from eUnited. Nade is up. Can it connect? No, it will not. Xysho still has that snipe, but can he find the headshots to keep this eUnited team at bay?
Let's find out. Now a little bit of a stalemate. We've settled things down just a hair. Demise with the nades, that's going to be an impact. Bronny also has utility too, so he can use that if we do see KCP making a push. Be careful, Demise. Xysho knows you're there. He was lining it up, but Demise will wisely back away once again at a stalemate.
You have to be careful. Sal's taking the nice angle down bottom to prepare potentially for overtime. Meanwhile, there's only 3 players up top for KCP, and we know what eUnited have been doing so well. That's rushing as a team with speed. Nade in hand, I feel like a play is on the cards any moment. Xysho needs to be ready.
He's ready, trust. He's definitely ready. But I like this for Demise. That's going to reposition Xysho. Does eUnited... We'll see you later, TJ. Now Xysho needs to dodge a nade. He will. Tries to follow it up with a body on Demise, but those nades did indicate a push as I expected it to. Xysho missing another shot. Those shots would have been critical. Now he's got to pull out the Nasher and try and finish off the last 2 players, which he will. They're back in. No! But Bronny finishes it off. Toby, for a second there, I was about to lose my mind.
I know. At some point, as a commentator, you sometimes just have to look at either the kill feed or the numbers at the top and just find out, okay, what's going on. Like, I can't track everyone, and now this is it, right? Everyone's turning around. Where's the next target? Where's the next target? Demise is looking to even shoot. The revive comes through the knife. I don't even know how a kill came through that. But nonetheless, Bronny, I think, with a double in the end there. And just as we saw in round number 1, arguably. So there you go. Well played from KCP, holding their nerve. eUnited still operating with speed, clearly.
Very clearly indeed. This time eUnited is going to take a stab with Powerz going for the snipe. They don't want Xysho to get it. So Powerz, does he get away though? A bit of trouble. Sticky point. Bronny wants to attack, and Bronny is going to attack. Now, eUnited going to be in trouble. Pioneers with a flawless round. A team ace. Nobody dying, and a beatdown will commence. KCP not phased from that map number 1.
And talking strategy, of course, this is the important thing about the Snipe Alley. Think about it. The Snipe hasn't had a huge impact, really, has it, on the outcome of these rounds, Taylor? But what has had a huge outcome is how the Snipe actually dictated the flow of gameplay. 2 rounds at the start, of course, eUnited had to fly down bottom and then somehow come from the back foot, right? They had to. There was no choice. That time, eUnited were like, okay, we can't give the sniper away again. They try it, and KCP were like, nope, this is our Snipe Alley. And they just won a free round from it, instantly, wiping them. So now eUnited have a decision to make. Do we go for it again? What do we do? What should we keep getting the snipe? I'm scared. You know, like there's actually that mental block, that mental question. It looks like their answer right now, Taylor, is to go for the nades down bottom.
Hndles sees it. Hndles sees it. He's going on the attack. Demise is full red. He's going to be lancered down from Acells up top. What a play and what a correction that was from Hndles. And you notice he stayed behind cover just long enough for Demise to feel like he's getting a free pick. And then Hndles saw his opportunity to hit Demise on the exit point. And now look who has the nades. And they also have the man advantage.
Looks like KCP were reading that strategy also. eUnited tried to change it up, and they read it. Well played, Hndles. 4v3. Nades not going to connect as desired. But, of course, that numbers advantage still remains. Snipe there as well, so there's an opportunity at least for KCP perhaps to go for a play in that sense for that weapon. Acells and everyone else on KCP slowing it down for now. Mid wall, of course, still there is a presence there for KCP in the form of Xysho. That will actually give them the angle onto mid pillar at the very least, and actually look down bottom in just a little bit. No, they're stacking up. Looks like they're going to make a play.
And the play has been made. They immediately send it towards that back pillar, but Hndles with one of the nades is going to take down Powerz instantly. TJ left the bleed out, so is Dyslexic. And Toby, we know what's coming next.
Oh, that we do. That we do. Oh my. I was having a discussion earlier, actually, with somebody. It's the question of where does confidence end and cockiness start? I mean, that's the point. Maybe that question it comes a little bit more prominent after map number 1 and what eUnited did there. But KCP, Ribs, I mean, predicted them to not drop a map this entire event, and no one really scoffed at that. We're like, okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
And it's just such a bold statement, but it's so true. There's so much evidence backing that. And yeah, I guess at this point in time, it's hard to criticize KCP for any of their celebrations after the rounds. And they should be celebrating at 4 or up map 2.
Absolutely. Well, that's two also to take into account, Toby. That's 2 flawless rounds where Pioneers doesn't lose a single player. Powerz, the guy who popped off map number 1, has not got a single elimination this entire round. KCP have effectively woken up. He takes the stab on the snipe. He doesn't get it. Now we're at a bit of a stalemate. But the man right in front of player 3 of Dyslexic, right? That's Bronny. Bronny has been so good so far that, I mean, eUnited are making moves down low. They're trying to go for the sniper, but they're getting shut down in every step.
Yeah, it seems like the mid wall is Bronny's now. He's wrote his name on it since yesterday and he's kept it up against eUnited despite the fear factor that eUnited players present right in front in close quarter battles. Nade's picked up by Demise. Can he get out? Yes, he can. Not being down in the process, but again, they're going to try and spot out using the third person. Here's gameplay to see him going down. eUnited Dyslexic, of course, still has the angle from up top. That's host spot, if you will, for the classic call out. And they can have the full view of where Acells goes down bottom. Question is, with those nades, where is the play going to be made? eUnited, they have to get around on the board, Taylor.
Have to. Absolutely have to. But is KCP going to allow it? Acells is on a flank. Acells hasn't been spotted. Acells might make a big play. Demise finally turns around. He will spot him. Acells is on the back burner now. eUnited knows it's a bit of a mismatch up top, but it's going to be a 3v3. Both teams will trade out, but Dyslexic gets the snipe. Not Powerz, but Dyslexic could be just as deadly. 20 seconds for overtime hill to pop up into play. And there's so many factors that could really, whether, make this happen or just absolutely destroy the chances. Acells still on that flank. Dyslexic knows there's going to be a player, but he turns around just in time. Hndles can close the gap. Now Dyslexic forced to pick up the Nasher. He's going to be in a 1v2. He'll join TJ side by side. On the opposite end, though, we're going to see a player from eUnited die. KCP will win the round and lead 5-0.
Massive round there. It was neck and neck. And I was just about to praise Demise of handling Acells' flank. That proactivity from Acells was causing a lot of trouble. It forced eUnited to push. And they did the hard work, Taylor. They were able to sweep up top and keep the numbers level and get the sniper. And a little bit of passive gameplay, it seemed like, from eUnited. Dyslexic there. You'd expect him to bounce left, honestly, against KCB in Ritual, but not this one. It seems to change up mentally, or has changed up mentally for both teams at this point in time, especially eUnited. Could it come down to this?
Once again, Powerz going for the sniper. He's going to get it, but will he be dropped? He will. Luckily, TJ picks him up. Now it's just going to be revive after revive. At times, KCP pounces on that opportunity when they know there's 2 players down, but this time they'll pump the brakes. Powerz nearly missing a shot onto Bronny. Mind you, Toby, Powerz still without a single elimination.
Good shout. Could the snipe change it up completely, or is it going to impact negatively his ability to hit his shots as we're used to? Ashes was saying on the desk, you can usually rely on Powerz to hit those crazy shots, and I hope you really can now. The gravity of this round is very, very high, shall we say, very important.
What?
He doesn't hit it, unfortunately. Under the pressure of the angle, tries again. Not going to connect. The snipe is there. Rather, the torp bow is picked up. Powerz can stay alive. They can lose map control at this point, Taylor. They have all the power weapons necessary. They have to show the respect to KCP now and not give away this round.
Powerz is in rare form. I mean, to go from dropping nearly a 30 bomb, or I think 21 kills respectively, if it did in fact extend out, he probably would have got a 30 bomb. But Powerz, without a single kill, such a rare sight. We are getting word that it is in fact going to be the center hill just next to those vans. So eUnited does have priority onto it. But Acells will kill Demise. Demise had the torque bow.
This can't be happening. I said it. You cannot throw this around. You cannot throw this around. They're closer to the hill. They have snipe. They had torque bow, but the nade is all they needed, KCP, to get themselves down this staircase. Can Powerz even things up with just one headshot to change the game?
He's got to. He really has to. Bring it to a 3v3. Granted, eUnited still has position on the hill. Pioneers have to rotate into him and flood in, which they're going to be doing from the opposite side of the map. Powerz, he's going to hit a finally. Finally, he's going to hit a nice headshot to get a kill. But Acells might have had a chance, but he's going to let it slip through his fingertips. Dyslexic, or should be Bronny. He's there to try and make an impact. He can't. A lot of work to be done from KCP going down the steps, Toby. They can't do it. Luckily, Powerz finally wakes up by hitting one shot. He has one kill, but it made a big difference. Maybe, just maybe, this is a turning point for eUnited, but even that round with everything in their hands, they still almost let it slip.
Yeah, close, isn't it? Despite the mistake of the teammate, Powerz holds it together. Nerves of steel, 0-5. He has to hit the shot at 0-5 in the score in terms of the rounds. His KD, of course, 0-5 before. Let's see if he can keep this up. That's the important thing. They got hold of the snipe last time, but can they prevent KCP from getting out?
Waiting for it to play. Xysho does get away. Luckily, he did get downed in a process, but he did have Hndles to pick him up. Oh, this could be a nasty shot. It's only going to be a body. Dyslexic, thank goodness, can get away. It looks like nades will be picked up from Demise's perspective, but make no mistake about it, though. It's not going to be easy for them to exit from that, because Xysho is ready to pop the head if he can. And we will have Overtime Hill on that bridge just up ahead. eUnited, do they set up early? Can they even set up early, Toby, with the pressure of Xysho?
Well, that's the issue, right? With snipe, you can go down bottom and keep the heads down of host spot, aiming down on you from that huge high point that Xysho currently sits in. But now Xysho, he has the snipe on that very location. Can Demise get out? Oh, it's just a miss. Just a miss. Demise can get out. That's the question answered. Now they have a little bit more room to play with. I am scared at this point because we know how good Xysho is with the snipe. One headshot could end this map right here, right now.
Acells will also pick up the torque bow. Nades, unfortunately, are going to be missed. At least the first one. Demise still has one more left. Pioneers know we can back away, and this is where they really start to shine, Toby. When they have priority on the overtime hill, eUnited has to just consistently flood. Acells needs a shot, though, with the torque. Unfortunately, he's not going to connect. So now a lot of pressure onto him, but miraculously, he manages to get it down with the snub onto TJ. But the pressure is still there. 10 seconds are about to be on the clock for the overtime hill to pop into play. Ooh. And Acells, he's going to pick up 2. He won't get 3, but he doesn't need it. Xysho, it's a body on Demise. This surely is going to be over with. He throws out the nade in a last-ditch attempt to just get anything going. But Xysho, cool, calm, and collected. He'll back away. He'll pick up the last kill. 6-1 victory. And just like that, Kansas City Pioneers will tie it up 1-1. And they do it in a dominant fashion. From a dominant map 1 for eUnited to a very dominant map 2 for Kansas City Pioneers. That should show you, ladies and gentlemen, this series is just getting started. And it's going to heat up till the very end when we reach map number 5. Kansas City Pioneer fans, I know you're happy from that performance. Map 3, Vasgar Escalation, coming up after the break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to a wonderful, wonderful performance between Kansas City Pioneers and eUnited, now deadlock 1-1. I'm so very impressed with both of these rosters in multiple regards. Obviously for eUnited for the control, and then for Kansas City Pioneers for this, I mean, explosive and wonderful, not only answer, but just performance on Clocktower. Toby, it's hard to see who has the competitive edge, but I mean, we know for certain Kansas City Pioneers have officially woken up.
Oh, for sure. It's a big shift in gameplay, clearly, right? The rounds and the score do say it was. That was a great headshot, by the way, of coming out from Powerz. But look at the difference, right? Acells had the same situation to deal with defending this side that eUnited did. But look what he does. Just the 1v2 is absolutely insane. And before that, Taylor, he even delayed enough time in the first place. It didn't even need to come to a 3v1 because KCP bought so much time when eUnited pushed down that path where there's the staircase with as soon as they could, essentially, allowing themselves a little bit more breathing room, but Acells did not allow that to occur. 6-1 that score on map number 2. And I'm surprised, actually. I mean, eUnited, they carried on with the same pace of Ritual, right? Where we noted at the very start when KCP was starting to get the snipe off in the first 2 rounds, eUnited rotate down bottom. 2 players instantly. They're out of there. They know, okay, we've lost it, but we're going to carry on going at full pace ahead and enable us to push once more. Get the nades, get back up, then go fly. But sadly, they couldn't, once into those team fights, they couldn't carry that out. They couldn't execute on it. And KCP, it is all about execution at the end of the day, as the game mode would suggest. That snipe alley dominated every strat for the whole map. You know, either KCP were getting the snipe or they were preventing getting the snipe. I think one time United got out with a snipe. One time. Without losing a casualty. KCP, I think each time they actually got the snipe, they didn't lose a single player. Yeah. And then eUnited had to respond. So each time KCP just put them on the back foot. And that's what KCP are so good at. And eUnited was just on the back foot, reacting the whole time as a result. And just honestly didn't know what to do strategically. It just created so many issues. Remember, just briefly, Hndles actually reading the play from Demise to go down bottom.
I was about to point that out.
The rip at the start. Yeah, well, there you go. That just says a lot mentally as the damage of that strat.
So you have Powerz, who popped off in map 1, has a very, well, actually really bad performance in map number 2. I think he only gets 1 kill for the entirety. We saw him with shot after shot after shot with the sniper. It's so important from Kansas City Pioneers' perspective to shut him down solely. Shut him down. Like, again, even during Split 2, there were talks that if you shut Powerz down on certain maps, you shut Powerz down in general, you shut down eUnited. You take a large portion of that slaying power away. Dyslexic can obviously slay out with the best of them, and I think he's going to do great in his 1v position here on Vasgar. But if you shut Powerz down, you take that confidence, you strip a lot of what eUnited is all about. And I think Kansas City Pioneers effectively did that. But KCP haven't been playing this map very well, but also eUnited haven't been playing this map very well. So therefore, you got 2 teams who have showed a bit of a lackluster performance here on Vasgar, Toby. But when you put them together, who's going to be the better team? We're about to find out, but no question, KCP, they have the momentum right now. Toby, let's get into it. Map number 3, who's taking a 2-1 lead?
Yeah, that's the question. We need an answer for that right now. eUnited, the game plan is clear, right? Move fast, keep moving, and try and get into the shotgun battles of close quarter battles. And meanwhile, KCP, they're responding with aggression, quickly pushing up on this side of the map. And they were so good strategically on Clocktower, completely outplaying United in that sense, as Rise did against PK in the previous match on broadcast. Now, the question is, historically, right, KCP are the best Vasgar team, right? Long term, they are the best Vasgar team. And eUnited were able to take down Rise nonetheless, despite Rise's awesome performance yesterday. Let's see if KCP can keep that up, or can eUnited just keep throwing themselves at them on this map like they did with Rise.
Ooh, nice job. You know, there was a moment there I thought it was going to sway towards Kansas City Pioneers. I saw Powerz getting very aggressive on the right side, which inherently put them in a 1v2. But no, I mean, eUnited holds their ground. There was an explosive opening and an explosive initial, and no even threaten a domination. I mean, player 3 has to get to B. He's going to be nearly there. He'll finally get that roll just in the nick of time to keep the round alive. But I mean, you're surviving, not thriving. I love to say that. And at this point in time for eUnited, those boys are thriving.
Oh, that they are. That they are. The pressure is on to KCP despite a great start. Great angles there coming out from Demise and Dyslexic working together to find those 2 KCP players. TJ, can he stay alive and wait for his teammate to flank in the form of Dyslexic? Yes, he can. Bronny, he's forced. Where do you go? Do you go for the break? Do you go for a 1? But he needs something. He rolls in. Not able to find the eUnited are all there. Wolf packing, ready to go for that second triple cap attempt. And it is in. eUnited off to a great start.
Love it. I do. You know, you look at Kansas City Pioneers after losing Ritual. Round number 1, they go into Clocktower and they dominate that first round. Then they go on to win the map. Here in round number 1 of Vasgar, they go on to perform well and win and show that they can recover quickly. Nobody died except for Powerz. Dyslexic, I'd mentioned him in the 1v spot. This time he was obviously with the boys. He goes 5-0. Not to mention as well, I believe Demise sitting with 8 assists. getting that damage. The fact that eUnited gets so many big numbers just from round 1 with as quick as it was showcased how dominant they were in each and every team fight.
That's so true. KCP again, moving with speed. But United like, nope, 3 of us are here. We're going to take you down. Powerz with the Boltok. We saw what he could do with that weapon on this particular map yesterday against Rise. And that's exactly the type of performance you really want to see. Speaking of Boltok, Xysho off to a good start with a headshot of his own.
Great shot. Plus, you also have a bit of a dynamic on the opposite side. You got Bronny versus Powerz for the transition over towards B. Meanwhile, though, focused on this fight to see how it's going to conclude. Pioneers feeling confident. They're pushing up. It's a big down on TJ. That's going to push player 8 of Dyslexic back. Now onto the tank fight. I mentioned Bronny. Bronny now down. He was in a 1v against Powerz, but luckily he was joined by Demise a little bit earlier. Now for Dyslexic, he's got to pump the brakes here. I don't want to see him push this fight by himself, so he's just going to Lancer out, keep the pressure up to allow for his teammates to push. Now, this is going to be a bit of an interesting fight because you have Powerz coming from mid. Acells has to keep him in check. Meanwhile, on the hill, TJ Dyslexic, they're going to take down Xysho and Hndles. That's going to send KCP on the run. It's a great start for KCP, Toby, but a wonderful answer and response from eUnited.
Huge. I mean, just reading the body language of TJ there. He's coming off spawn, didn't change a weapon from his shotgun, just update every corner. He didn't stop. He didn't even check to see what the battlefield was. He's like, no, I'm going in right now and I'm making it work. And he did. And that's the eUnited gameplay style right now that seems to be working. KCP trying to respond off spawn, though. And eUnited making it very difficult for them.
Look at that damage Dyslexic is outputting. Just tick, 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 tick. Continues to go up. Mind you, the man is still 5-0. Hasn't died, but has picked up 5 assists for his hard work. So he's getting maximum value for each and every time he's making a push. This time, though, will he remain flawless or will he suffer his first death? Well, Acells, he's going to try and give him that first death. Nice shot around the corner. Not enough. He's got to back away. Making that push which just wouldn't have been smart. Xysho, same thing. Takes too much damage. Force gone. We have a bit of a power dynamic between Powerz and Acells, both whiffing the first shot. Acells had a real chance to get the chunk, but Powerz capitalized even more so. eUnited once again making headway forward in a time that is very critical. They need this hill. They need the break, but do they have the win condition after it? Maybe.
Oh, no. They left Hndles on the floor. Hndles was able to get up. Powerz had to choose. Was he going to get the kill or revive? He went for the revive, and now they've got nothing. Dyslexic will break the B hill, but score lead is pretty huge now for KCP.
Definitely is. KCP winning 20 seconds. They're also getting A to boot. eUnited, although they've been clawing their way back, Toby, it seems like it's simply not enough. Kansas City Pioneers, they're serious. They want to win this round, and with those series of eliminations, they will secure it. Toby, round 2 will go to the way of KCP. They'll tie it up 1-1. What was the difference from round 1 where eUnited dominated to round 2 where KCP answers back?
Honestly, I think KCP just held it together in the end, and United couldn't find that triple cap scenario off all of those pushes. Clearly, the kills didn't come through as thick and fast as they did, and they weren't able to wipe KCP. And I think a huge factor of that earlier in the round, you might have heard me say, wow. In fact, it was literally both teams operating on a pivot, just swiveling around, attack, defend, attack, defend. Oh, this player's coming off spawn right in front of us. Come back to the next cover and keep maintaining that pressure, that forward momentum on both sides, but still making sure you can't get caught out because the other team is moving so fast. The game right now for me, Taylor, in a nutshell, is just working at a way faster level than we're accustomed to, I think. It's so quick between these two teams, and they're bouncing, reacting off each other constantly. It's such a pleasure to watch.
Oh, if you think they've been operating at 100%, you better believe all 8 members are operating at 150% at this moment. They won it, and what a push that was from Bronny. You can see the confidence in that push, but TJ, he was ready for it, and what just a clinical and easy elimination from his perspective. He'll go over, see the numbers from KCP. He won't commit for it. He'll stay on B to keep anybody in check if they decide to push. Bronny a bit of a 360. He's like, where do I want to go? Maybe communication breakdown in that moment, but he's just going to stay put. He doesn't want any member from eUnited, in this case, obviously Powerz, making a move over towards A, but we're about to see a pop-off fight once again, and it's going to be a 3v3. Winner of this could very well swing the momentum back in their favor.
I think Xysho actually forgot he had a smoke there. They looked like they were about to push as a team, but smoke comes out and then suddenly they stop. Surprising for the moment. Acells having their retro could slow down eUnited just a little bit in these all-important team fights on this side. Oh, another big 1v. The up A came from, of course, Bronny once again. How many times has he been red on the up A, Taylor? We mentioned it so many times on Ritual. Didn't really matter on Clocktower, of course, but definitely has to consider that going forward against these incredible players of eUnited who really were reading them like a book. Now, the play is going to come through from KCP. Acells, great shot over onto Dyslexic, ice-breaking that team fight into what we see now. And Powerz, he's on the flank.
Yeah, he's on the flank, but he's not going to be able to do anything with it. In fact, he's going to drop. So unfortunate that was. You know, it was such a big stalemate for so long, but Demise was... I just want to see how this plays out, actually, because you mentioned TJ's kind of had Bronny's number, and TJ continues to have Bronny's number. That's going to dig at you each and every time you lose that 1v1.
It's just one gib each time, and it's just one move, one mistake, you lose, right? It's so punishing because you can't even criticize much other than the one decision. It's so hard. Demise is going to have that angle, doesn't matter. Hndles will be down. Hills are changing. The domination potential is there, but I believe one hill is covered. Yep, that is the C hill, of course. Demise right now on 0-4. Has to be said, of course. We're into the round number 3. KCP really turning a new leaf here on the re-entry, if you will, into the respawn mode after what we saw in Ritual.
After round 1, he had 8 assists. Round 2, he accumulated 3 more, and he hasn't got any after that. That just comes to show you that he has been shut down. eUnited making a heroic effort up the steps. It starts with Dyslexic. He'll pick up one. Bronny, who has been getting gibbed by TJ, will give the favor back to Powerz, and TJ will take down Acells. Toby, eUnited could very well walk away with this round, and I gotta say, I think they just did it.
There's the potential, isn't it? B-Hill capped. TJForce is going absolutely off right now. If it wasn't for him, maybe, just maybe. Let's not say it too early or jinx it, but hey, maybe this round could come through. Acells tries to reach for it, 5 seconds. Looking elsewhere. Can KCP get there in time? No. The points, of course, are going to run out. They won't be able to reach all of the hills in time. eUnited thoroughly deserve. But going back to that point, right, TJForce, these crucial 1vs, I think we were touching upon this yesterday, Taylor, with Rushies in particular, and the fights down there, Lava as well, previously too, in his matchup. It's so crucial, because if TJ loses any of those 1vs, it could have ended up with KCP going for a triple off that, right? That 1 point, you losing 1v there's such a distance from the spawns that it means a triple cap cannot come through, and it's also what's key to creating a triple cap opportunity at this level.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ, does eUnited win that round without him beating Bronny twice and then ultimately Acells at the very end? I would say no. You know, but also give credit to Dyslexic on that stair push, picking up 1 and then ultimately securing that A hill. Lots of factors, but for sure, TJ MVP in round number 3. Last round of the first half, KCP looks to tie it up 2-2. Guys, whoever wins this map leads 2-1 in the series and is that much closer to being in grand finals. Bronny finally will win a fight against TJ. Not that he didn't win one earlier, maybe in the round that KCP won, Toby, but it's been a couple of rounds since then, right? So it's nice to see Bronny finally returning the favor.
Yeah, you definitely think about your losses, though, more than your wins, I think, and that's a huge one for Bronny. Nonetheless, due to the streak of losses, Dyslexic finally getting into the game. Great shot on the Hndles, finding him. And Acells will fall as well. Flank coming in from TJ. Look at the devil where he is now. Bronny, meanwhile, is going to be moving himself. TJ's back, though, to get some revenge for the last 1v loss. Full red. Bronny in a world of trouble, but he cannot find the exit point to try and find the damage. Dyslexic will also get the B hill as we go back and forth between these two teams.
KCP, they have to band together, unfortunately getting caught out one by one. But Dyslexic really is the hero on that flank. That was just such a great job and a great execution on the flank on Charlie. Without his flank, does eUnited win C? You know, maybe not, but back onto the attack. Dyslexic with the retro out. He's going to get his own chip damage plus the finish on the Xysho. He'll back away for the reset onto Acells. Meanwhile, now Demise has joined into the fight. Dyslexic feeling confident, pushes up, but confidence or not, he's going to die off. Acells nearly picking up 2, but Demise stays alive with a couple percentage of health. He'll take him down, and eUnited will remain, or at least regain and remain in control of the point lead as well as the objective.
Demise again, showing discipline. Finally, he's got a kill on the board. 1-6 as it stands. Dyslexic straight off spawn to influence this B fight now. Continues to be huge. Bronny finds TJ off screen right now. 2v2 still ensuing. Dyslexic is just looking for that right-hand push. He's looking for something to allow him to go forward. You can absolutely feel it in these eUnited players. Always trying to hold up on the joystick and find the cover to access that gib range. Hndles, a little bit weak. Fantastic movement. But eUnited do need to find this. They really do, and they do actually get him down eventually. Acells, though, let's see how he's doing.
So one last round, it came down to a pretty big team fight on A. Once again, Toby, it's going to come down to another pretty big team fight on A, that if KCP wins it, well, they could win this round. Acells a bit trigger happy, sends a shot flying, unfortunately straight into the wall. He'll put TJ back, but he knows he's got to go up top and make an impact, and he can't. And I mentioned that team fight on A that happened last round that put eUnited in the lead. Well, Toby, once again, they will win the same exact fight, and they will lead 3-1 going into the second half.
Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. We talk about weapon placements all the time in Escalation. Does it even matter? eUnited have fundamentally changed Vasgar, it seems like. They did it to Rise yesterday, and they're doing it to KCP today. Remember, KCP are no slouches in the meantime on Vasgar. We saw what they did yesterday on stream, right? It goes without saying how good KCP are at this point at Vasgar. And so for eUnited now to just change this fundamentally how Vasgar's played with the speed that they operate at, it's just so good to see, and so scary as well. I know what you're going to point out though, Taylor.
You definitely do. Dyslexic, one of my favorite players in the Gears Pro League. 12-5, 12 assists. The damage is just nutty, buddy, man. 17k damage. But a change on the map, right? Let's focus our attention there, Toby. Sniper onto tank. And no longer are we going to see that push and pull fight over on the opposite side of the map like we were seeing so many times off of the first initial round. So that sniper could very well change things.
Walk it off. I don't think they want that. Oh, let's see, TJ was about to speak about him. He will fall. Bronny will find that on left hand. Nonetheless, KCP pushing through. The Lancers are so strong from KCP right now. Dyslexic has no choice but to back off and try and keep his life for as long as he can.
Xysho gets his hands onto this sniper. We saw the impact he had on Clocktower just a little bit earlier. A very strong start for KCP. Mind you, one of the strongest starts we have seen. Hndles throwing down a smoke, keeping things a bit chaotic. TJ unmarked, though, is able to get up one tag at least. But Demise, who's fresh, is able to close the gap and take down Hndles. Wonderful job from his perspective. He's going to be in eUnited's hand, and Xysho lining up a snipe. He'll body Dyslexic.
Is that all you need? No. I think you need a little bit more. You need the numbers to get through the Lancers. Dyslexic says no. Powerz gets his own kill, and suddenly Dyslexic, he gets two. eUnited, just like that, the flick of a switch. They're out of this spawn. They had the E-Hill, of course, already. The F-Hill as well. I'm so confused. They've managed to get that and defend that side of the map, and they've now turned it completely around, Taylor.
Absolutely turned it around, and in fact, they're going to continue to threaten the domination. But of course, player one, Bronny, does get onto the hill to keep things alive for Kansas City Pioneers. But I mean, Toby, talk about flipping the script. But eUnited's been doing that consistently through all the rounds they've been winning.
Seems like they have like double roadie run speed or something. They're moving that fast. It's unbelievable. So difficult to keep track of, as they do literally run across any map they go on, it seems like now. 4-12 for Acells. Still a scary factor. His mechanics seem to be on point. He's looking for those second Gibbs whenever he engages in a 1v2, and we saw what he did on Clocktower earlier. KCP is still very much there, Taylor. It's safe to say, but it's just eUnited clinging onto those triple cap opportunities and making them work. Such a scary team to play against.
BJ's been so good in these 1Vs and already hits an opening shot into Hndles, but Hndles unrelenting will clear the corner, take him down in a critical point in time where Kansas City Pioneers do fall behind a little bit, but not so much that it's scary. So now, win condition back in their favor, 30-point deficit they can absolutely close out, but a quick response from eUnited is they're going to be on the home hill of Kansas City Pioneers, but Kansas City Pioneers are there to try and push them back, but I mean, eUnited, that's a 3v2, make that a 3v3. I'm actually more focused on really what Hndles can do, because he's got to push into TJ, and that could disrupt the flow of eUnited. I mean, the impact he can have is great, plus the impact already for Kansas City Pioneers on F is wonderful.
So well
Nice.
said. Good shot from Hndles. But Dyslexic will keep his distance. Powerz snipe in his hands, and they have the win condition, Taylor. 20 seconds to go if they can hold one hill. That's changing right now, though.
Acells will drop it, not for long. He'll be picked back up. United not with a hill in their possession. They might get one onto D, but even still, Kansas City Pioneers with one hill have the win condition. But look at that. eUnited gains one back. They win in 15 seconds. Can E be captured? No, it can't. Dyslexic will win the fight. That is critical, and that puts eUnited in full control. Matter of fact, cherry on top, Powerz on the opposite end will get the decap on Kansas City Pioneers hill as well. And that's going to be a 4-1 lead, Toby, for eUnited. One round away from leading 2-1.
just getting flashbacks from Powerz. They're setting up a reaction shot with the snipe. I remember, I think it was a play of the week or something on Gridlock all the way back when Axie was new. He was pulling off things like that just for show. And nonetheless, 4-1 on Vasgar. eUnited. Remember, yesterday, Taylor, I think all of us as town were just questioning why on earth are eUnited picking Vasgar against Rise. Now look where we are. After all that, it's insane to even consider before this all played out. Ember on the E-Hill now, and then things will perhaps shake up just a little bit. Will it be a 2v2 on both sides? I wonder. Definitely can help KCP in that front.
It could 2v2, like you just said, and for Kansas City Pioneers, clearly they're trying everything. Sniper on tank, they're trying an M-bar over on E. I mean, grasping at straws, but I appreciate that because we saw Pittsburgh Knights a little earlier against Rise on Harbor, right? Not placing a change until they were down 4-0, so might as well do it while you still can. But it doesn't help. The 2v2 is going to be one on E. The M-bar did get backpack, that's good, but I know Kansas City Pioneers are not happy about that initial.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Their first chance at it, of course, the strict 2v2 off the rip. And that's how it played out. Retro in hand for two players. It's all going to go on this tank right now. Great back gaze from TJ. The downs keep flooding in, and so do the eUnited players.
They're on fire. They're on fire. TJ not backing down. Look at the flank from Powerz, whether it's Dyslexic, whether it's Powerz.
Oh my.
The flanks, the movement, the three-piece Powerz, baby. He may have had a lackluster performance on map 2, but it is anything but here on map number 3. And in fact, Toby, 5-1 victory. That's a response you need if you're an eUnited fan. You love to see it. They lead 2-1 in the series.
All predictions go out the window. Actually, on the first map, never mind, we're going into the third map now, and somehow eUnited are winning Vasgar against KCP. Absolutely nuts, as was Dyslexic's performance there. A well-in match MVP. My goodness me, 16-6, 22k damage in only 6 rounds against KCP. Crazy. And just qualitatively speaking, we saw what Powerz did there on the tank. That is the insight into perhaps the best movement on the game right there, right then. And that flank as well is similar to what we saw with Dyslexic earlier.
Yes.
It wasn't just simply going wide with rifles. It was going into the back with the shotgun. He was pre-bouncing, just ready for KCP to turn around. They know they need to give there, Taylor. They have to get it because they're losing the damage game. They're getting down. There's players in front of them. They have no hope. They have to turn around and go for the gib. We've seen what these KCP players can do in a clutch potential situation. Right. Powerz was already there. Nope, not going to happen. I'm going to bounce my heart out and show you why perhaps we can win this game.
I just love that Dyslexic is the newest member on this roster, yet throughout this entire Winners Finals, he has been, in a way, the shining star. You know, Powerz absolutely the shining star on Ritual, but make no mistake about it, Dyslexic was just behind him, Toby. Map 2, well, that's just a loss. Like, what are you going to do from eUnited's perspective? That was an absolute massacre. Kansas City Pioneers played that so well. But map 3, we see a response from eUnited once again, and what a response that was. A 5-1 victory. We talked about their struggles, or you talked about, and wisely so, their struggles against Rise on this very map, and they just weren't the strongest Vasgar team, but they continue to pick it, and it comes to show you that they weren't giving their tricks away. It's kind of like when Affinity was talking a little bit earlier, saying when Rise played Pittsburgh Knights on Tomb, like, hey, did you throw out some extra strats? And he said we didn't have to reach too deep into the playbook on Tomb against PK. It's maybe the same thing here from eUnited, Toby. It seems as if they were leaving us hanging quite a bit during pretty much the entirety of Split 3 up until now.
I think the contrast there between PK and Rise is quite interesting, actually, because with eUnited, I think for me, it's just the universal game plan. On every map they go on, they just run it. They run at people now. They look for any opportunity to push. Clearly, they'll play every corner. And it's hard to respond to that when they're winning the shotgun fights that they do. I mean, even when a team tries to run away from them, they just get beaten down. They just know they're going to run. They know they're scared. Look at this situation. KCP, do we commit? Do we run? Bronny's out of there. He's now re-engaged. He's trying to help his team in time, but no, Powerz is there. He's already retroed everyone. He's now going to bounce around and leave Acells just standing there missing his shot. And it's just absolutely stunning to see from eUnited. And they thoroughly deserve their position right now in this winners bracket final. And to give it context, really, I mean, I think you need to beat KCP in a winners bracket final in order to defeat them. And I think we're at that point now that we're even talking about that as a potential thing to occur. from previously. Ribs, for example, didn't even think they could lose a map this whole major.
But look at that box score, right? 300 to 104, 6 to 1, 5 to 1. The action has been palpable, right? I mean, I have been losing my mind. I know you have as well, Toby. But you look at the box score, and if you weren't to watch this series, you'd be like, wow, rosters were dropping the ball quite a bit. But it's interesting. They're really not, aside from Clocktower. That was definitely dropping the ball. But Vasgar, 5-1 victory for eUnited. They played well. I mean, obviously. I mean, Dyslexic was just unstoppable. Powerz was incredible. The plays were awesome. But each of those rounds were very close. Kansas City Pioneers were pretty much neck and neck with them. And I'm not giving a bailout to Kansas City Pioneers by saying that. That's not the point of that statement. But the point of that statement is just, it still has been such a great series. But now, Toby, an important question to you, all right? We're heading into district. We heard Ashes say that if it did go to district, which obviously it is now, that you would benefit, or he would benefit, Kansas City Pioneers and their teamwork on this map. How are you thinking this is going to go down? Does eUnited close this out 3-1, or does KCP send us to a map 5?
I think I just organically, as a caster, just default to what type of map district is. And it's a comparison to, say, Regency. Regency is all about setups being there first, slowing down Lancers. District, I think, is a map where you can get a little bit more chaotic. You can literally jump into green and blue, i.e. juice and info, and just fly at people and create situations where you wouldn't be able to otherwise in other maps. And I think that favors eUnited's playstyle. If they can do that, Taylor, on Vasgar, if they can do that somehow on Clocktower and push snipes on KCP when they've got map control and they're up top, with frags or not, it doesn't matter. It's hard to do. If they can do that there, they can do it definitely on District, especially in battles like Cinema.
Well, eUnited fans, hey, look, this is it. Maybe we'll see them in grand finals after this very map. Or for Kansas City Pioneers fans, I guess you're hoping that they win this map and they send it to a map 5. Either way, strong start for eUnited. Look at Dyslexic. He hops over cover. I immediately think he's going on a flank, but I mean, Jesus, he is going on a flank. Are you kidding me? Picks up one already, but Hndles is going to back him away. He's got that nice little off angle. But still, Kansas City Pioneers haven't been able to even set a foot inside this hill.
I think that's the statement you want. Pushing left hand against some of the best players in the game. The champions in terms of major victories, and they're still pushing on left hand, and they still are winning them consistently. That is the spark you need to beat KCP, and it looks like eUnited have worked it out, and they worked it out in map number 1.
Man, great start for eUnited. In fact, kind of akin to what we witnessed on Ritual, right? Pioneers could not get the ball rolling. They lose 300 to 104. And eUnited already off to a great start. Nearly a flawless hill. In fact, I think they're going to bleed it absolutely dry. Hit 60 points. Finally, we'll see TJ leave the hill to go for the rotation. But once that rotation is in, I mean, look at how much pressure they are giving to Acells. Acells, he's gone. That opens up the lane to push past Bandstand to get to the next hill, and the only guy you got to get through, at least at this moment, is going to be Bronny, but of course he is going to have some company.
Look how fast they're moving. Look how fast they have the drop shot. Powerz doesn't care. He's flying through. He gets a kill. Demise, his drop shot is on point. Mentally, they are all there. They're in a literal flow state right now, it seems like, Taylor. They know they must go forward. They just work it out as they do it. And it's working out because they have the mechanics to do so. TJ's there, locking down green instantly as Xysho thinks he has an angle. Thinks he has an insight, an advantage over this eUnited squad. They're predictably moving fast and forward, but you can't find a counter. I mean, just thinking Escalation, KCP, they tried power weapon placements, they tried M-Bar, they tried snipe, they tried slowing things down, but they just couldn't deal with eUnited's pressure. On control, you have a lot less options, pretty much. You have way less options, and perhaps that benefits eUnited here, and it's perhaps why they're leading so much now already on District.
I want to see how this team fight's going to play out before I'm... Okay, I'd see how it's played out. Hey, eUnited's making Kansas City Pioneers look silly. Like, that's just the way it is. eUnited are on fire, and it is crazy to see how confident they are feeling. They know this is their major. They understand the position they're in. Look at Powerz closing the gap onto Acells. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit the critical shot he needed to, Toby, so he will fall, which gives an opportunity for Acells to go ahead and rotate. But for eUnited, I can't find a flaw in how they're playing. I really can't.
No, you and me both. Usually a team as chaotic and fast as this, they have a flaw somewhere. They make a mistake here and there. You know, they're a little bit too quick on one push. They're a bit too disorganized, right? But no, everything is there. The organization, they're on the same page. They're holding hands when necessary. The chain revives to counter the Lancers, those are on point. Even the push timings. Look at this. As fast as they can leave blue, they're already jumping over into the window to challenge and put on the damage and pressure on them. There's a drop shot in the hands of Acells, a former MVP of a major, and he's not able to get anything with it. It's just too fast. They're swarming in front of him right now.
Oh my lord, it ricocheted off Demise, right? Didn't it hit his body? And then I mean, come on, are you kidding me? The luck that was just implemented there. Hey, look, Dyslexic is feeling it, Toby. Dyslexic knows this is his time. He's got the prayers of Latin America in conjunction with Dezo backing him up, baby. Right now, Dyslexic knows this is his time, Toby. And I can't argue with him. I can't argue against it. eUnited have Pioneers at 5 freaking points.
KCP are being locked out, simply put. The shock is going to delay them and actually frustrate them at this point, probably. They probably just feel like they need to win a team fight. Let's be real. That's what KCP want to do. They're not used to being in this position, Taylor. They're used to dominating teams in this exact fashion that eUnited are doing to them right now. And it's probably confusion, right? They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going wrong.
No,
they haven't experienced this as such a high stakes in such a high stakes match.
In a major, they haven't experienced this, right? This is the first time in 5 majors Kansas City Pioneers have truly been behind. And this very well could be the first time, Toby. I mean, this is history. This could be the first time Kansas City Pioneers doesn't make grand finals through winners. They might not make grand finals at all because Rise are looking just unstoppable too. This is looking scary for KCP.
It is. I mean, it's winners bracket final as well. Like that's a huge first experience, isn't it? Major and winners bracket final. Demise will take Xysho. Hndles will fall. It's just flowing so nicely. Powerz, how many times have we seen a wrap shot from Powerz come through this event? I think they're shook. I think this is done. I think KCP have clocked out. They are simply mentally not even in the game anymore. And eUnited are just having the time of their lives.
I mean, I'm having the time of my life watching this. Are you kidding me? I mean, Rise versus PK, almost identical in this moment. It's crazy. Acells finally gets a kill. Thank goodness Kansas City Pioneers can win a team fight and break a hill. I was getting worried they forgot how to do it.
Sheesh. Well, finally did that, but will it mean much? Huge score lead.
Say it with your chest next time, Toby.
I mean, it's hard to breathe. It's hard to speak with your chest when it's hard to breathe. I'll be honest, Taylor. Demise, flanking, double, lovely. It's just... it's just shocking at this point.
It is.
Honestly, it's just so surprising to see this situation play out in front of us. It leaves you speechless when you start to try and break down what on earth is going on.
Well, Toby, let me get you something to talk about. Ribs, please pull up the scoreboard. Toby, please break it down for me. I mean, what? Ribs, give me something else to work with. Pull up the scoreboard.
I mean,
I know the fight's going down, but well, either way, I was wanting to set you up for eUnited's Pioneers. They don't really have that many kills. There you go.
I think eUnited have just completely set themselves up, and they've left the stage. It's safe to say. Look at this, though. 1-8 Bronny, 1-9 Xysho, 2-7 Acells, 2-8 Hndles. I mean,
6 kills. 6 kills.
It's tough. I mean, it's tough for KCP to see, but we've blatantly been extremely entertained by eUnited's performance, and that's definitely the most exciting factor here. Delivering such a performance against Pioneers, and it seems all but over because eUnited are dominating that hard.
All right, well, that's a good shock, at least, to block the exit point. Powerz onto Bronny. Bronny, he's going to get worked. Powerz takes him down. Now you have Xysho in the hill. He's already been full-bodied. He will get a trade, but Demise is there. The damage that was done to him just a little bit earlier allowed for Demise, obviously, to pick up that elimination. Now 230-37, nearly a 200-point lead. It's going to get there. As Kansas City Pioneers aren't going to get a touch in time, and there it is, 200-point lead exactly just before KCP gets inside the hill. How long can they stay there? Well, it seems as if finally they'll be able to at least stay for, I don't know, 10 or so seconds, but I mean, they have to be flawless from this point forward. If Kansas City Pioneers can turn this map around, which I got to be honest, it still is possible, maybe, this would be just a major collapse from eUnited, but they're feeling themselves. They're feeling good. TJ has the drop shot in hand. The stun's going to come out. There's the Nasher. Can he work? Bronny cannot. That's a good response. Get the drop shot out before it can't be used. Well done, Bronny.
Yeah, absolutely. 245-48. Things slowing down. Finally, you might argue, for KCP. eUnited just allowing them to take a breather. but is it brief? Let's see. We're stacking up, points being built up, and eUnited are there, ready in blue to perhaps end this game any moment now.
We'll find out. 245 to 61. Catching up. Bronny had a chance there. Demise. Little wiggle waggle. Maybe Bronny hits that next shot. It works out. Powerz for the break. He'll have a misroll. Hndles will punish him. Look at the more punishing factor, right? TJ, 52 seconds here. Just nearly enough to close this out. I mean, just nearly enough, but they hop off. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Surely KCP gets a touch, but I mean, win on this hill or not, Toby, Pioneers, they are in so much trouble. What a shock that was to drop one. Through the blender they go. Demise gets the finish. TJ, get back on your feet, brother. We still need you. And I mean, immediately takes the chunk on the Xysho. Toby, eUnited in the victory lane, and they are cruising.
They are cruising. There is no doubt in any of their minds, all four of their minds, that they don't end it any second now. This is huge for them. This is such an example of what they are capable of. They've demonstrated it. They've been doing it in every single 1v, it seems like, throughout this series. The fumble was Clocktower for a moment, of course, with the strategy that came out from KCP, but even then, they did not stop there.
Wow, this might be worse than the loss on Ritual just a little bit earlier. It comes down to a distinct team fight. TJ's going to push him out. 298 to 68. TJ will double back, meet shield in hand. This is for the win, ladies and gentlemen. Xysho needs to pop off. So does Hndles. Xysho's down. Dyslexic has a beautiful angle. The last 2 points might tick through relatively soon. Xysho, can he do anything? He cannot. 300 to 70. eUnited will be in grand finals.
And let that sink in. Under 10 minutes it took them to break them down on map number 4. Powerz 13 to 6. It's not the best KD you've ever seen from him, but what can you do within 10 minutes, Taylor, of breaking down the current champions in Gears Esports? Absolutely stunning. 3 to 13, 4 to 13, 3 to 4 to 12. Absolutely insane to comprehend, and against all, well, most predictions, shall we say, and I'm sure it goes with the fans and the Twitch chat as well. eUnited have knocked out KCP of the winners bracket final. 3-1 scoreline.
I like to have fun with chat. Braveheart, don't take this personally, but Braveheart said, damn, this is close. I don't know what he was watching. Maybe he's still watching the VOD from Vasgar. Maybe, I don't know, a close round that came down to the wire. I don't know what was close about that, Braveheart. 300 to 78 around there. That is a win eUnited desperately needed. Now, Toby, Kansas City Pioneers, they're in an incredibly unique situation where they're now on the back foot. They have to fight through losers. They've literally not been here in the past 5 majors. I don't know how their mentality is going to be affected after this.
I think at this point, my default is to return to the last major with all the pressure on them from the poor Pro League performance and, of course, all the pressure on Bronny as an individual and the team as a result. You'd hope from that experience and the doubters of KCP. I mean, many of the interviews for KCP is about, what you say to your haters or what about your doubters. Some of the best interviews have come from KCP. Hndles, for
100%.
example, where it's just like, nah, it's fine. Nothing, no issue. We don't care. We don't care about other
Not
opinions.
funny.
Everything's internal. And to be honest, speaking of internal, District, psychologically, they seem deflated. They internally seem deflated. They did not like what was occurring. They weren't themselves. eUnited, meanwhile, I don't know if they've been meditating or what, but something has changed psychologically.
Incredible.
Everyone is playing well. They've all come into their own at the exact same time. Not sure what the practice schedule has looked like this split, but something has changed. And just briefly speaking about the last major, of course, we predicted eUnited to win the whole thing. They didn't. Disappointing time. But then they've come straight back with a vengeance, and they defeated Pioneers in the winners bracket final and have booked themselves a position in the grand final. What an amazing match, and a really sight to behold.
Toby, it's been a beautiful weekend, and man, you are incredible. I loved casting with you. It's been several months since we had a chance to work together. I love your analysis, your statistical breakdown. You bring so much value to each and every broadcast, brother. I know this is your final time on camera for this weekend, but Toby, I'm going to leave it to you for your final words before we get out of here.
Likewise, brother. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast with you as always throughout the whole weekend as well. I hope everyone or folks enjoyed our cast. I'm sure they enjoyed that match nonetheless. And boy, what a way to finish out. It's been an absolute pleasure, Taylor. And 3-1 scoreline still has me shook in my seat right now. And I cannot wait to see the remaining matches of the major.
Incredible, Toby. I really do love you, man. You're an incredible, attractive Welsh man. All right, let's bring on the analyst. Let's bring it back to the $5 and let's talk about it. I think, Ashes, you were the only guy who went with the eUnited, and it seemed as if you were the smartest guy on the desk for once. Now you can gloat and bring it to Fallout after you showed your trophies.
Okay. We're taking shots, huh?
You went for eUnited, right?
He's been firing.
That was a backhanded compliment.
Honestly, I meant it sincerely, though. I swear.
Don't backpedal your way out of this.
First time ever, I was the smartest.
Keep shooting shots.
Taylor.
I like the reflections that shoot shots. Don't try and backpedal your way out of this, man. Hey, I just want to say one quick big thank you to both of you as a casting duo, crushing it all weekend. It's gonna be Colin and PR from here on out. Taylor's gonna take my spot on the desk here in a couple of hours. But no, big thank you to both of y'all, especially Toby. Getting back to casting was amazing. Just felt right to hear Toby, the most analytical mind we've had, in my opinion, all time as a caster in Gears. Toby, you crushed it, man.
Thanks, man. Means a lot, truly. And it's been an absolute pleasure returning to casting. And even just on the desk, anything, it doesn't matter what I do. I'm just so happy to be here. And yeah, the compliments mean a lot, guys. And it means a lot, truly, every single time I ever hear one from such an awesome, talented team. I don't think I've said it enough live on air. So thank you very much. It's been an incredible event. And as I said, I am just going to enjoy from here on out watching every single match. It's going to be incredible, I think.
The NBA on TNT desk of esports, as we like to call ourselves. Best damn talent team we got in the business, boys. Much love, Toby. Enjoy your evening, man. Well-deserved rest and break. Taylor, great way to kill as always, guys. Talk to you later. All right. Well, hey, a lot to talk about, lot to dissect. Swinging of the pendulum, momentum back in Ash's favor as he calls the eUnited win. And hey, I got to give credit where credit's due. Hell of a call. Obviously, a lot of people with KCP, how dominant they've been, wouldn't have seen that come. But they really looked like they were going to turn that around in execution. Game 2 started slow. I mean, break down that series for me, Ash.
Yeah, I mean, it started off strong for eUnited. They came out aggressive. They came out confident, which is, I think, exactly what they needed. I think we talked about even, they needed to play their game and they needed to be prepared for what KCP was going to do. They are the reigning champs, but they knew they had the skill. So here we see them, just having their way with them. Vic pulling off multiple kills. I mean, this right here in this play, who gets 2 kills in this situation? Come on. He's ready to put LATAM on his back and say, look, there's a new king in town and I'm with eUnited and I'm ready to take home a trophy. So phenomenal play out of all of the guys on eUnited right here. And the Clocktower, a little bit shaky. I'm wondering if they just weren't as prepared. You could definitely see KCP's teamwork coming through on that map, but overall, just eUnited looked so aggressive and confident, and their gameplay was so clean. That's a championship caliber team that we just watched.
Yeah, absolutely. I am excited to see if eUnited can close this one out because they are looking so perfect. I'm probably more excited on the flip side, Ribs, to see how KCP responds. I mean, I think Taylor said it. They've never been here before, right? I mean, every championship they've won, they've just dominated through winners bracket, right?
Yeah, they won a mid-split playoffs coming out of losers versus Rise, and that's the one that came down all the way to the map 9 on Tomb. That was a fun one. And but in the form of a major, this is the first time KCP's been put into the losers finals from winners finals. And we talked about sense of urgency on the side of eUnited. They know this is one of their last chances to win a tournament. They came out in rare form today, and not just Powerz Dyslexic, like we said, having a breakout event, proving that he can show up on Sunday. He's been one of those players that kind of was played lackluster on a Sunday. And eUnited sitting pretty in grand finals now. Rise versus Kansas City Pioneers. That's going to be our losers finals matchup. And surely KCP, with all the championships they have, they're going to be able to have the mental fortitude to bounce back. So Rise is going to have to be on their toes. But Rise also looks like they're in a great form today after taking out the Knights.
Yeah, that's a great point. And that was kind of the next topic as we're segueing over here to previewing the next matchup. Rise looking very strong. KCP on their back foot. And I think I can't remember if it was you or Ryan who said it earlier, or Ash, can't remember, but mentioning that the team that loses and winners is going to be kind of down in the dumps. They just lost 3-1 fairly handedly to eUnited. Does this open up an opportunity for Rise here now, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, Ribs pointed out that this team has championship mentality. They've obviously won 5 events now at this point.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Powerz was having his way. I mean, anything he wanted, they just said, yes, sir, take it. But, that championship mentality, have we seen them do it from losers bracket is my question. It's one thing to have the championship mentality when everything is going right, everything is going nice and easy, you're going through winners bracket, you're having a good time, you're gaming with your friends. But when you go down to losers bracket, when you take a loss like that, I'm not even going to call this a loss. This was a beating. Like, we can all agree, right? This was a beat down. eUnited was the schoolyard bully in this game. And I think, when you get, approached like that in a winner's finals, this isn't Friday. This is where it's serious. You get approached like that in a winner's finals, it's going to be interesting to see how this team can bounce back against a Rise who was making me eat my words and was looking red hot on a championship Sunday.
Gosh, I mean, even watching these highlights, it's just insane. If possible, UMG team, I don't know, any video producer, tape producer, if you could put this entire highlight package together, save it as a file and send it to me. I just want to watch this back and at least once a month, just to remember how good eUnited was, but also just how it honestly brings out the best of Gears. They look so freaking strong. We talked about that stat of maybe KCP's the better team firing team, but eUnited, the way they were trading shots and team firing with a Nasher is actually something I've never seen before. You saw it in that clip towards mid-map there in District, their ability to trade shots and finish each other's downs with shotguns, let alone taking out their pistols. Lancers team firing so well. They were playing on point all day long and all game long. It really showed. 370, 300 to 104, absolutely trounced Ribs.
Yeah, no, eUnited was firing on all cylinders, and I love the fact that you brought up team fires. Like, they were hitting all of their shotgun shots, but they were also spacing properly in the sense that they weren't always going for one shots. They would hit a full spread and know that that's all they had to do. And then when it was time for Powerz and Dyslexic to go off, we saw multiple or double kills, triple kills, and even Demise. Like, as you switch to Demise's screen, and all of a sudden he's getting a 3-piece. So yeah, all four of those players, like I said, sense of urgency. They really want to win their first championship. Obviously, Powerz has won before, but those other three guys really trying to prove a point here, and they're sitting pretty now in grand finals. Congratulations to eUnited, all the fans out there, United fans, and of course Ashes said he's going with his heart and had the right pick there. United playing so amazing throughout that whole series.
Absolutely. It's TJ's time, guys. It's TJ's time.
Can TJ do it? TJ, Demise, and Dyslexic trying to win their first ever championships. The generation we said is next back in Gears 4. Well, here's the time. Now it's time. It's all eyes on them and if they can close it out. But guess what? We got an interview actually live with Powerz. Before we throw that over in a second, I just got to say, I got to eat my words first and foremost, because I was out here tweeting about this dynasty, saying all types of crazy things. And then KCP loses United, I think map 1. I'm like, if United wins this game, I take back everything I said. Unless KCP can do something miraculous and come back. A lot on the line, reputation on the line. United has a chance to basically tarnish the dynasty and the reputation of this KCP squad. They just did it. Let's go ahead and throw it over to Powerz and Colin for an interview. I want to hear their take.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Oh, never mind. It's just me. It's just me again. You know how it goes. Congratulations, first and foremost, Powerz, for making it to grand finals, taking out the Pioneers for now. They still got another chance at this, but congratulations on a big win just a moment ago.
Appreciate that, Colin.
So let me hit you with a couple of questions. Last major, it seemed like teams really just game planned for you. Take Powerz out, force Demise, TJ, and Dyslexic to beat us, and that seemed to work in a lot of instances. This major, though, it has been a whole different ball game. Can you talk about the kind of work those boys have been put in to not allow that to be the game plan?
We've been working very hard. To be honest, like my teammates, I'd rather the team focus me and let my teammates do whatever they want on the map. But right now, like we've been playing together a lot, and it's showing in our communication, and us Wolfpacking is just everything right now. Like I don't even think they could focus me anymore at that point. They got to worry about my whole roster now. They see the VOD, you know what I'm saying? So
I completely see what you're saying. I especially saw it on that ritual map. Good gracious, it felt like all four of you were together 99% of that map. I said, good Lord, can they get somebody? Can somebody go somewhere?
Yeah, that ritual was bad. I'm not going to lie.
How much of a change is it for you as a squad, though, from just 6 weeks ago? I mean, we were looking at you guys as, they wolf-packed around. They played fast and loose. They're going to have to change something up. And you guys said, why don't we just get better at what we're good at? Is that really the only thing that's changed? Is y'all just put in that kind of work, that kind of time?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We put in a lot more effort, way more effort than we did last major. And to be honest, we just same as last event. Like we're playing the exact same. It's just more effort. Our effort is there, and we're all showing that we care. And that's what's making us win right now. We all want it.
Well, let me hit you with this. This really seemed like an eUnited map pool. I was looking at these maps. I said, good gracious, they basically gave them home field advantage. Is that a shout out to you guys' coaching staff, or was that just all trick of the trade?
1,000%. Shout out to my coaching staff, Jeff and Rubik's. They've been helping us along the way, especially Keith. He's been here with me since day one. So shout out to my coaches. They definitely put in work.
Is Big Keith still as swole as he ever been? My man's still out there putting on the muscle. Whew.
I'm pretty sure he look bigger now.
Oh, good Lord. Let me ask you this. Kansas City Pioneers, they have been known for their trash talk, for the teabagging, for the love that they show. You guys kept it strictly business. Did y'all ever take that to heart, or is that just part of their mentality? And you said, we're going to go ahead and take their soul. We're going to snatch it from them.
Yeah, we don't take nothing to heart, man. This is a video game. We don't care about that. That don't get into our heads. You know, like come on, we got pass and gears. We've been to land. That doesn't work, man. That just doesn't work, bro.
I heard them
We
three magic
brushed it
letters.
off. What, LAN?
Yeah, buddy.
I missed that, bro. But you know, that teabagging don't get nothing. Like, that's nothing, bro. You know that's nothing.
I know when it comes to you, it ain't nothing. I figured I might actually have to check, though. Let me ask you this. Any words for your supporters, for your organization, for everybody out there that's trying to drive you guys to another championship?
I just know we all appreciate everyone's support, all the love that we're getting, because we want it more than ever right now. So if we keep getting that support, we're gonna how do I say this? We're gonna feed off of that. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely, you know how we started this interview. I had the hat up front and center. You know how it goes, Vic. You know the vibes out here between the two of us, brother.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much to Vic Powerz for all of his time today after their big win over the Pioneers. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate you for being here with us. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. It's Losers Finals. Lose and be done. Win. And you got to face that monster sitting next to me right now. Again, I don't know who wants that job, but if you want to see who has to take that to task, don't go anywhere. Pioneers and Rise coming up next.